Hi, everybody. I'm so excited today. I'm Carolyn from David Tree, and this is Rachel McGarry. Some of you know her well. She is a singer-songwriter of devotional chant. She's a yoga teacher, and she's also the founder of Sanctuary. And we're really excited to have her here today because we're going to talk about the divine feminine. Also, Rachel just recently, or maybe in the last few months, I wanted to congratulate you, Rachel, on getting your 1,000 hour certification with David Tree School of Yoga. So,
Oh,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here because these are some really interesting times that we're in, and I'm really curious as to what your message is around the feminine energy.
Part of my project, my independent study project to complete that 1,000 hours was working on She Rises, which is an album that's honoring the divine feminine. And so I very consciously, when I started working on this album, decided to allow her to lead, allow the feminine to lead, allow myself to let go of any like masculine way of like to-do list, getting things done and like pushing and sinking into this feminine nature of allowance, of allowing. And I very consciously, in when I started the recording process, like when I get together with my producer, we stop, we meditate, we chant before we begin any recording session. Like we bring in the energy of the feminine. And so this has been this theme throughout the project that started with the independent study with 1,000 hours and has continued throughout the making of this album. And it's been such a beautiful process. And thinking about honoring the divine feminine with these mantras and with these songs, and then also honoring the creation of this, the process of it in this very feminine way has been just a beautiful experience for me and a different experience in terms of intentionally setting that feminine, flowing openness around the project has been, yeah, has been amazing. Mm.
It's so great to hear you talk about it because we all benefited from hearing you in your process. And what I found is as you were going through it, and you would say, "Well, the divine led me to this today," or "I let go of this, and this rushed in." And all of us felt like we were in this magical energy with you, where there was so much creation, like you said, and flow. Why is it that we don't have that in our lives?
I think it requires a different way of trusting, of having faith that things are going to play out the way that they're meant to play out, and we need to trust that. And sometimes it's hard because we think we're in charge. We think we're the ones driving the ship, or and
Yeah.
and and we're not. We're along for the ride. So it when we can let go a little bit and understand that, and truly trust that my best interests are always being met by the divine. I'm always being led to my highest. I can let go of my ego and I can just go with the flow. I mean, when we were talking in the independent study, we were talking about how I was choosing the songs that were going to be on the album, right? And it
Yeah.
was like, my mentor Brandon McMorrow has said, "Okay, pick like a whole bunch, and then more than you need, and then we'll narrow it down." And I was like, "Okay," so I had 16 songs, and I'm like, "How do I like cut? Like, how do I say some babies are not going to
Yeah.
be born, right?" And so I just like meditated on it, or just sat with it, and I realized, oh, the songs will come on their own. Okay, who's coming with me to record this time? And they would be like, oh, this one, this one, this one would kind of tell me in their own way that it was their time to be recorded. And so the ones that didn't step forward just weren't ready. Even that's one example of this more feminine way of looking at things. It's not like, okay, I have to cut some. No, I don't. I just have to allow the ones that are ready to come forward.
So it's like not this forcing energy, but this allowing and listening. Like it really sounds like when you're saying honoring, you need to listen.
Hmm.
And you're saying you do that through chanting, through meditation. How do we listen to what's there for us and sometimes hard for us to hear?
For me, meditation is key. For me, it's like a daily practice. Part of my practice is, of course, asana, of course, chanting, and then and meditation. And that's when I can get quiet enough to hear, because in my day-to-day life, my life is too busy, and most of our lives are too busy to really hear the messages. They're always flowing to us. She's
Yeah.
always talking to us. It's whether we're listening and open to hear the messages. So for me, it's also like when I'm writing songs, it's coming into this place of allowing, because I'm not writing them, I'm just catching them, right? Like, so I'll sit down with my guitar and I'll get really, really soft, and I'll just kind of half focused, and then just start to play whatever comes, right? And though that eventually leads to songs, but it's this open, allowing place, letting go of thought. I'm just sinking into the present moment, being fully with whatever it is that I'm doing, and just softening so much that I'm not really focused, just things just come in this easeful way. And I think it's a beautiful way to approach other things as well, to come into this place of softness and allowing to hear those messages. So I'm catching songs. I don't know, other people might be catching ideas for art or for whatever.
When you say softness, I can feel like the mother's hug. I can feel like the cushy kind of held energy.
That self compassion, that forgiveness, that loving nature, that unconditional loving nature, those also this empowered knowing who we are, like that's also the divine feminine too, like standing in that knowing. Yeah, I think when we give space for her, she shows up for us, right? And these songs, it, on She Rises, are all these messages that have come from her to us to help us to really embrace this feminine aspect of ourselves, regardless of gender. We all have a feminine nature, and so these messages are here to inspire us, to help us to stand in our own strength and our own power, to recognize that we are loved unconditionally, that no matter what we tell ourselves or what society tells us, we're actually deeply loved by the divine.
When I hear you sing, and I've said this to you before, I often am brought to tears. Like there's something that you're tapping into that's deep within, that is, must be that energy of love and knowing that I am loved and held and honored for being who I am. Like
Mm.
it's like you create this beautiful container.
Well, this is what she's telling me to tell y'all.
We're
Telling me to
listening.
say, you're like, you're loved, right? Like we're loved, and
Yeah.
and it's okay to put our crowns on and stand in our power, right?
It's simple in a way, but all this stuff gets in the way, all the to-do list, all of the expectations we put on ourselves, or the ego that comes in to say we have to be a certain way, or protecting ourselves, right? Like this is underneath it all is this softness.
Yes. It's beautiful, this softness, no?
Yes, that's what I think of when I think of Rachel. Just so soft, and like she's always seems to be surrounded in this pink hue, um, which I see right now. I mean, Rachel, would you tell us a bit about the album and what the process has been now getting it out into the world?
Wow, I started probably recording in May last year, and it's been quite a long process. There's been some bumps in my life in the last year that have derailed for a bit of time, but I'm in this really beautiful place right now where the songs have been recorded. I have beautifully skilled musicians who have come on the album this time around, who have already added their juicy pieces. So we are anticipating a single coming out in March and the full album coming out in April this year. So it was an interesting process doing the Kickstarter of the first album, because I didn't really know what to expect, but there was so much love that surrounded the album. And I think at the time I was in so many different courses with David Tree. There's so many David Tree like teachers that contributed to the campaign. So it was really surrounded with this love bubble of Arcula, which felt so good to be able to release this into the world with that love surrounding it. Like it wasn't just this like little thing that I sent out on its own and it was like scared and whatever. It was like protected by this love of everyone who supported it through the camp. It was just this amazing experience that I totally didn't expect. And so this time I feel that again as we're moving through. There's 56 people as of today that have backed the album, and I feel their love surrounding it. So I feel like when She Rises is ready to be born and sent out to the world, she's surrounded by love, and it feels amazing. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so if people want to get on board, they can do that before the 14th. So we'll leave a link below. And
Exactly.
would you feel comfortable sharing with us a song?
Yes, 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 yes. So I'm going to share a mantra to Lakshmi. I'm calling this Lakshmi love song. And Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance, spiritual, material abundance. She is the goddess who makes life lovely. And she's the one I probably resonate with the most because she's the goddess of love, of beauty, of spiritual connection and abundance, material connection and abundance. She is when we have Lakshmi in our lives, we have everything we need to make life lovely. She teaches us about the balance of giving and receiving, right? So abundance is all about that balance. Like we as women tend to give, 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 but let's open ourselves up to receive. The receptive nature of the feminine, like connecting with that is one of her biggest lessons.
So we
So,
can maybe hold that energy in our hearts as you're singing.
absolutely. Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha Swaha Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha Swaha Shri Malakshmi Shri Malakshmi Shri Malakshmi Shri Om Shri Maha Lakshmi Swaha Swaha Swaha.
Filling us all up with love. Oh my goodness. Thank you. I know the people that are out there listening to this will beautifully receive that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being with us here today, Rachel. And how can people be in touch with you?
You can reach me through my website at sanctuary.is. You can reach me, you can follow me on Spotify. Yes, that would be awesome.
Thank you, Rachel, and good luck with your Kickstarter campaign and your album. We're
Thank
so
you.
excited to listen to it when it comes out into the world.
Oh,
Thank you for creating space for it to flow through you.